Before we start, just take a pause and read out this disclaimer. Like it says, it's going to be an introductory video, and for detail, a separate video has been created for each of the plots which we will be learning into this. So, this is the introduction or definition of Seaborn. Seaborn is nothing, it's a Python data visualization library which is built on the Matplotlib, and this provides you a very well flexibility to create many designer plots. So with this you can create all these variations of plots to make your analytics or analysis more attractive. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and to understand the concept very clearly, please watch the video till the end. Once you are done with watching the video, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Here we will see what all are the elements which are required to create a plot. First thing is data frame. So there are 3 data frames which we will be using. We will just see in detail each of the data frames, and these all are the plots which we are going to cover in this one video. Here, this Supermart data frame. Supermart data frame looks something like this. And if you talk about what all are the variables does it have, so these are the set of variables which it has. You can pause the video and read the definition of each of the variable. Same thing with tips data frame. It looks like this, and definition of the variables are given over here. Just pause the video and read out the definition. It will help you in the exercise, or maybe when we are learning the plots. Again, we will have a flights data frame. For flights data frame also, these all are the set of variables and it's their definition. You can again pause the video and read out the definitions in detail. Now let's jump to the Jupyter notebook and try to learn each of the plots in very detail. Right. So here I have already imported all the required libraries. If you are familiar with Python, then you already understand. You can simply follow the video and you can do the same stuff, right? Now over here, I have imported some data sets like these 2 data frames. These by default are available with Seaborn library. This is the data frame which I am importing from my system. I will be providing a link in the description which you can use to download this data frame. This is called the Mart data frame. Here it shows the sample data which I have already introduced in the in previous section. Here you have the sample of tips data, and same way here you have the flights data. Now here you can see the columns available in tips data. Same way you can see the columns available in Mart data. Let me just change it to code window, and here you can say Mart dot columns, and here you would have all the columns. Similarly you can check it for flights as well, but you can apparently see all the columns available over here. Now without wasting time, let's start with the real examples. So here the problem statement is check number of transactions done on each of the outlet size. So in Mart data we have one column called outlet size, this one. So this has 3 category of outlet size. One is small, high and medium. So we want to check how many transactions has been done on each of the outlet size. Okay, let's try how can we do that. For that you're gonna say SNS dot count plot, and in that you need to supply data equals to Mart x variable. You're gonna supply outlet size and just hit Control plus enter if you're working in Jupyter notebook, right? So here you can see on small you have these many transactions has been done. On medium outlet size, these many transactions has been done. Similarly on high, these many transactions has been done. If you want to see it horizontally, then you can just change it to Y and you will have the horizontal bars. Right, now moving forward, over here it says check out the average sales amount for each of the outlet size. Now what is the average sales amount which has been done on each of the outlet size, like on high, medium and all, right? So how can you do that? For that, SNS bar plot, and in that same thing you're gonna do data equals to Mart, and on x-axis we need to plot outlet size, and on y-axis we are going to plot sales, because we have to see the average of sales. Now you just hit Control plus enter, and here you have the bar plot created, and here you can see this is the average on small outlet size and on medium and on high. Moving forward, here it says it's just basic statistics which we have seen at the top. Now here we want to get in some more detail, right? How can you do that? So here we want to seek what is minimum transaction amount done on each of the outlet size and median, and what is the quartile and all. How can you do that? So you can achieve that by using box plot. In that, you're gonna say data equals to mart, and x-axis you're gonna supply the outlet size, and on y-axis you're gonna supply the sales. And let's run this. So here you have this distribution created. So this line shows the minimum, this one is lower one is going to quartile 1, this is median, this is quartile 2, and this is maximum. These are the outliers. These all have been explained in detail in the specific video which you can check out in the description. Okay, and if you want to see mean also, so you can say show mean equals to true. Let's see. Oops, we got the error. Actually this should be show means, not show mean. It should be show means. Now you hit Control Enter, and here if you can notice, it is showing the marker, which these markers are representing to the mean value, right? If you want to make some modification on this marker, then you can say mean props equals to, you're gonna pass dictionary of the values, and then you can say marker face color equals to white. Let's run this. Here you can see marker face color has been changed, right? Similarly you can do many more modification. Now if you want to see the same thing but in a different plot, right? It's a beautiful plot which you can use violin, right? So let's say sns dot violin plot, and in that, let me paste the same thing, and here instead of box plot I will just change the plot type, violin plot. Now you have this, and in this you will get box plot as well as the violin, which tells you the density. Now in the center, if you see, this is the box plot which is giving you the same information as we saw above, and here it is giving you the density of the data, right? So this is why we use the violin plot, because we have used these all options, so that is applicable on box plot over here. If you want, you can hide the box plot again. For that you can see the detailed video. Now if you want to see each of the data point, how can you see that? For that you're gonna use sns dot strip plot, and in that you need to supply data equals to mart, and on x I am going to supply sales. And let's see that. So here you have the x value supplied, right? Let me make it more useful, outlet size, and then on y I will supply sales. Now if you see here, you're gonna have the each of the data point plotted over here, but the data size is quite huge. So what I'll do is I'll just take a sample out of this data, and the sample I'm going to take just 200 records out of that. Right now if you see, this is making more sense of a strip plot. So here what it does is it shows each of the data points separately, right? If you want to expand this more scattered, then you can say jitter equals to, let's say 0.5. you can say it is too much, you can just say 0.05. then this is how you can change the jitter option, and you can play around it. That has been covered in the detailed video in more detail, right? So let's say you can just say it 0.2. now this is much better. Okay, so this we basically use to show each of the data points. Now the other option to use this thing is use see all this information, similar information, is using swarm plot. I mean, that is very likely to this strip plot, but what it does, it gives you very attractive form, and over the here you can find some of the points are overlapping, but in that it will be separately, right? So for ease of the convenience, what I'll do is I'll just copy it from here and I'll use the same over here, right? And in that I will just remove jitter, and instead of strip plot I'm going to say swarm plot, right? And let's run this. here you got your swarm plot created. So now like you can see here, each of the data points are separately plotted. Okay, so again, this has been covered in detail in a separate video, for which you can check out the link in the description section and you can learn it from there. Next, it says the category plot. Okay, so in categorical plot, what you can do is, let's see what all are the things that can be done. Let's plot a cat plot, and in that we will supply data equals to mart, x-axis I'm going to say outlet size, and on y-axis I will plot sales. All right, let's run this. Again, for the ease, I will just take sample of 200 records only. So these are basically useful when you keep a small amount of data, otherwise it takes a lot of time. Now you can say it is showing the same plot which we just observed, right? But here's the trick, it gives you the flexibility to change the plot as you want, right? You can simply say kind equals to box. Now from here you can change it to box plot. If you want, you can change it to violin plot, right? So this is how you can switch change the plots. Now another thing which I want to show you is, if you see over here, we have outlet location type as well, right? And that basis on that, if you want, you can create an individual plot for each of the outlet location type. How can you do that? For that you can just say call equals to outlet location type. Now if you run this, you're gonna get one separate plot for each of the outlet location type. Let me expand this and show it to you. Here you see tier 1, tier 3, and this is for tier 2. So this is how you can, this flexibility is available in categorical plot, right? If you don't want to see it in columns, if you want to see it in rows, that you can also do. How can you do that? You can simply say, instead of column you can say row, and then you're gonna have 3 rows for each of the outlet category. For if you want, you can have both, that I have covered in the separate video, and many other options of this has been covered in separate video. You can just check. Now we want to check the distribution of data by sales class interval, right? So how can we do that? For that we will just use histogram, hist plot, and in data we will just plot mart, and on x-axis I'm going to plot sales. So this will show you the distribution. For simplicity, for easiness, I will just use the beans functionality, and in here I will just use a range function from numpy library, and I will start from 0 to 11,000, and I'll give a step of 2000. Now what all these all mean is has been covered in detail in a separate video. Just check that out using the link given in the description section. Now here you can see the number of transaction between 0 to 2000 are more than 50,000. Again, same number of transaction between 2000 to 4000 are somewhere near more than 25,000, I can say rather. Okay, so this is how you can check the distribution by a class interval. Now if you want to see the kernel density estimation distribution, then you can use SNS.kde plot, and in that same way you can supply mart data, and over here on x-axis again I will plot sales, and then you're gonna have the kernel density estimation plotted over here. Now you can see it's almost normal distribution, the data is normally distributed. Next thing which we're gonna see is, now I will show you a rug plot. Rug plot does nothing but it just shows you the distribution by each data point. Rug plot, and again in this also mart and x equals to sales, and just hit control plus enter, and then you will have your data plotted over here. It's just taking more time because of the huge size of data, and it has to plot. Now there are many options available with this to style this particular rug plot, and this makes more sense when you combine it with histogram and KDE plot, right, to show the each of the data points. Again, a separate video is available for this also. Now this one is going to be pretty interesting. Here let me show you what is the benefit of using ECTF plot. SNS.ECTF you can say ECDF plot, and in data I will use mart, and on x-axis again I will plot sales. Let me explain you what does it mean. So here if you see, it is the proportion, means percentage, and this is the sales amount in a class interval, right? So if you try to join this on this line, so if you see this 2000 cuts over here and it cuts over here, so somewhere more than 60% of the transactions are less than or equals to 2000 rupee. Transaction amounts are, sales amount are less than or equals to 2000 rupee. So this is how it helps you to get the proportion of number of transactions by a given class interval. So it makes really simple the analysis, it makes the analysis really simple. Now here it comes the distribution plot, right? Let me show you what is the benefit of using this. So for example, if you talk about this mart data frame, and in that if you want to check out the relation between like here it has been given, for example, okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, let me show you first. Oops, sorry, please bear with me. And here I will just use mart, and on x-axis I'm going to use sales. Let's see what happens. So by default it is giving you the histogram, right, which we just saw at the top. Here this plot provides you the functionality that you can combine many of the things. For that, because the data size is huge, so I'm just going to make it little small, right? I'll just take a sample of 200 records, right? So this will make it fast, this will just make the execution faster, right? So KDE, I'm going to say true, KDE equals to true. Let's run this. Now if we can see, for 100 records the distribution is shown. Along with histogram you have a kernel density estimation line as well, right? So this is showing you the combined distribution, right? I mean, showing you the same distribution but with different plots. Now at the same time you can say ROG equals to true. Now what is going to happen is, at the bottom if you notice over here, here you have each of the data points plotted. This shows you the data points by interval. This line is showing you a distribution, and the ROG plot at the bottom is showing you the distribution of each of the data points. Next we want to see, if we want to see the relation between sales and item MRP, how these two variables are related with each other. So we can take help of joint plot. At the same time we also want to see the distribution of both of these two plots. So how can we do that? It's going to be really interesting thing, right? So for that we just use joint plus data equals to mart. Again I'll take a sample of 200 records, and why I'm taking this, just to make the data lighter, small, so that it could execute faster. Okay, so mart dot sample 200, and on x-axis I will plot sales data, and on y-axis I will just plot item MRP. So we will just see how these two variables are sharing the relation. Okay, now let's run this. Here you're gonna have two plots created. So if you see at the in this area you have the relation showing between item MRP and sales, and at the same time at the top this is showing you the distribution of sales, and this one is showing you the distribution of item MRP. So it makes really useful. At the same time you can see distribution as well as the relation. Again, detailed video has been created for this. Check out that using the link given in description section. Now we will see the relationship between all the numeric variables available in a given data frame. Let's see that. So SNS dot pair plot, and in that you can use mart data, right? That's it. Now you don't need to specify any particular variable, but what I'll do is I'll just take a sample of 200 records so that it will be easy. Okay, now it will execute and it will give you a quite comprehensive plot which will help you to get a quick view on your entire data frame, of course between the numerical variables, right? So just let's have a look on this. Well, so if you can see over here, there are so many variables available in this particular table, right? Okay, let me do one thing. What I'll do is I'll just change it to tips data frame so that it could be simple. Oops, it's not tips, it's tip. Mm, mm, mm. And then tips. Sorry, here it is. It's taking quite time. So if you see, right now here we have less number of variables. That's why I use the tips data frame. This particular plot shows you the relationship between total bill and tip. This one is showing you the relationship between total bill and the size, and this diagonal one is showing you the distribution of same variable, right? Again, a separate video is available for this plot as well. Just check that out, which gives you many more functionality uh, to make changes in this particular plot according to your uses. Moving forward, here if you want to see the relation between two specific variables, that you can just do using scatter plot. For example, again I will use data equals to mart.sample. I'm going to take of 200 records. Okay, let's make it more lighter. Okay, I'll just take 100. X equals to outlet size and the okay, here it is suggesting to use tips data and investigate. Okay, let's make it specific to the example. Give an example. Tips data, X equals to total bill, and on Y I'm going to plot tip. Okay, now here we want to observe that how tip is changing if total bill is changing, right? Yeah. So if you see over here, this is the dense area where you can see what sort of relationship these two variables are sharing with each other. You can just zoom it and you can observe this thing. So this is how you can use a scatter plot to check out the relation between two plots, two variables. Now next one comes checking the show the sales trend by outlet open year. So in mart data we have one outlet open year variable, right? So let's say sns dot line plot. Here usually we use line plot to see the trend of something by the time, right? So here that's why I've chosen this thing, right? mart.sample, and here I'm going to take 100 records. On x-axis I'll put outlet year, and on y-axis what I'll do is I'll put sales. How sales is changing by the outlet open year, that's something which you can see over here. Again, this is a sample data, not the whole data, so this will just give you a hypothetical analysis or assumption. Maybe you can see, if you are not liking this shaded area, what is this shaded area, that has been covered in the separate video, but if you don't like it, you can just say ci equals to none. Ci stands for confidence interval, right? Now you have just line plot. Next, here it says investigate the relation between outlet year and sales with best suitable plot. Now here we just saw the line plot. Now what is the best suitable plot? Will it look good if you plot it on a scatter? Let's see that. Sorry, you will get that option in over here. Okay, let me just show it to you. So for that, what we're gonna do is we will just change it to rel plot. Okay, and in that what we will do is I'll just remove this and then just execute it. So by default it gives you the scatter plot, but at the same time you have option to change its kind. So for example, I want to see it by line. So here you have it by line. Again, you can use ci confidence interval equals to none to hide this shaded area. Okay, so this is how rel plot gives you the flexibility to change the plot if you are doing some sort of analysis. Rather creating a separate plot, you can use the rel plot. Okay, moving forward, here in regression plot, again we will use the tips data and we will try to predict the tip by the total bill amount. Okay, predict tip amount basis on the total bill using reg plot. So it's nothing but the regression plot. It gives you the option to switch between logistic regression, linear regression, and many other statistical models, right? But here we're gonna just see the default one, data equals to tips, and then on x-axis I'll plot total bill, and on y-axis I will plot tip, and let's see what is it showing. Like you can see this analysis. So if you want to predict this is complete, this is some sort of linear relation, so it will help you to predict the amount of tip basis on the total bill amount. Okay, now moving forward, heat map. So to use the heat map, it is important that you arrange your data a little bit, right, in the form of matrix. So that's what I have done over here. I have just converted that in I've created a pivot using the MART data and outlet year, outlet size, and sales. I want to see the sales by outlet year and outlet size. So this is how it is showing. By default it shows you the mean, but you can change the value. You can change the aggregation method. Now this is this is numeric table, right, which doesn't gives you very clear idea. So for that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna use heat map, right, and in that data equals to MART piv. Let's supply this. Now by looking at this, you can say, if you take a reference from this bar, so lighter area shows the highest value, darker area shows you the least value. So if you see over here, this is the darkest area, so this is the minimum amount, I mean minimum thing. This one is the highest amount, sales amount. Okay, so this is how heat map helps you. If you want to show the value on this, you can just say a not equals to true, and you can just hit Control plus enter. This will annotate the numbers on heat map. Now I understand you don't like this sort of number, so what you can do is, there is another function which is argument FMT. In that you gonna pass the number of floats, so 0 float you want to see, and you'll have to tell what is it. So you would write F, which represents float. Now here you have the numbers written clearly. Now there are many other formattings which you can apply. Again, check out the detailed video using the link given in the description section. In cluster map you can use the same thing, but here it gives you the option to cluster the variables having similar value together, right? So let's just change this to cluster. Like you can see over here, it is the same, it's same as heat map, but it just puts the similar variables together where it has the similar value. For example, if you see here, these years 99, 97, 87, and then 2004, then 2009, and then again 98. So if you see, these are not sequential, these are basis on the cluster, right? So similar variables having similar values have been rows. This represents to rows having similar value has been clustered together, right? And same happens with here. Same happens with columns as well, right? So columns having similar value have been clustered or grouped together. Now the last one, which comes about the facet grid plot. This is really an interesting one, right? So you can say just facet grid, and here first you create the structure. So for that I will just use MART data, and again I'll take sample of 200 so that it will be executed quickly. And let's say we want to see separate column for each of the outlet location, right? So for that I will say col equals to tier, right? And then you just hit and Control enter. So you have 3 tiers, right? So for each of the tier a separate column has been created. Now what you're gonna do is you just create an object, and into that you can supply this entire thing, right? And on this object you can map the data frame, map data frame, and in that you need to supply what sort of plot you want to see. Any plot you can use over here in this structure, right? Hist plot. And over here, let's say on x-axis you want to say sales. Okay, let's plot this. Now here you got it. If you want to change it to KDE plot, it's very simple. You can just change it KDE plot. Sorry, you just need to say KDE plot. Okay, now you can see it is changed to KDE plot. Similarly, you can use the scatter plot, line plot, etc. So this is it. With this, I would like to end this video. Thank you very much for watching this. Again, to learn each of the plots in detail, check out the links given in the description section. Thank you very much once again. Wish you very good luck.